Hi, welcome to my next video, and on this occasion I'm looking at another vintage or legacy lens. In this case it's one that I purchased off the internet, cost me £10, so shouldn't really have expected too much, but I'll come on to that later. It is in this case a preset 35mm wide-angle lens badged with the Prinz Galaxy name, and Prinz was at one time one of the trade names belonging to Dixon's when they were essentially just a camera shop back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, before they branched out into doing many more electrical items in the UK here. So we'll just put the little zip around carry case to one side and concentrate a little bit more on the lens itself. Just let me zoom in a wee bit more for you. Get it the right way around. There we go. Okay, so what have we got? It's a 35mm wide-angle lens, f3.5 modest maximum aperture. Focuses from infinity down to a minimum distance on a 35mm camera to round about 3 feet. Okay, so nothing staggering, but it's a very, very compact little lens. That's one of the reasons why I bought it. And although it's badged and bears the name of Prinz Galaxy, which I hope you can see around there, I bought it because it is such a compact little lens, and I was going to use it on my Sony a5000T mirrorless camera, and I have used it once, and again I'll come back to that in a little while. But the reason that I got it was essentially because of it's such a compact little lens. It's ideal for use on a mirrorless camera, and of course with mine having the APS-C sensor, it gives me, or would give me, an equivalent focal length of round about 50mm. Okay, so that's the reason why I bought it. Now it is a T2 preset lens, which means that the adapter on the back here unscrews, which we'll just remove for you. So that's the bare bones of the lens. Okay, absolutely no controls on the back whatsoever, and here is the mounting thread. Now in terms of its diameter, if I just reverse the T2 mount that came with the lens and put the two side by side, you will hopefully be able to see, just get them lined up and in the shot a bit better. It's probably a little bit difficult for me to keep these lined up, but they are essentially the same diameter. The difference is in the pitch of the threads, and this is why that I mentioned in my other video on one of the other vintage cameras that I reviewed, that a T2 lens will not fit onto a Pentax Praktica thread camera body. And I'll just demonstrate that. Here we've got the Praktica Nova that I did a little review on the other week, and without the adapter I'll just try and put the lens on there, and I'll hopefully be able to show you that you can actually start to mount it on the thread because it's the same diameter. The problem arises if I were to try and force this on, it would strip the threads because the pitch is different. So T2 and M42 are different. I'll just put the T2 adapter back on here, and because these T2 lenses were designed to fit on a multitude of different cameras, each mount has 3 grub screws in the side of it, 2 and 3. And once you screw this to your camera, if the index mark does not line up with the top of your camera, the idea is that you can undo these 3 grub screws and rotate the whole thing so that the red index marker sits nicely pointing vertically upwards when it's mounted on your camera. So we'll just now attach this to the Praktica, if I can do it without dropping it. There we go, and hopefully you can see that the red index marker lines up nicely with the center line of the camera. It is compact. From what I can gather looking on the internet, I think that the original manufacturer may be an early Tokina, when they were calling themselves Tokyo Koki camera company or lens company. I'll probably never know, but that's as near as I can get. And because of that, I would have expected it to be a reasonable performer. However, there are issues with it. First and foremost, because of its compact design, when I was using it, I found it very, very easy indeed when adjusting the preset aperture ring, which is this one behind the click-stopped ring on the front. When I was closing down the aperture, it was also moving the focusing ring. The two are so close together that one was interfering with the other, which I found a constant annoyance, to be honest with you. And more importantly, the finished results were absolutely abysmal. I'm not talking about definition falling off in the corners. I'm talking about uneven coverage and completely unusable corners side to side. There's coma visible. We've got chromatic aberrations visible in the images. So what I was hoping would be a nice budget, compact 35mm manual focus lens to use on my Sony camera is in actual fact, to all intents and purposes, going to live on a shelf and probably gather dust. That's all for now, folks. Stay tuned and watch out for my next video.